Hello, everybody, and welcome to this new episode of Spanish Loops. Jorge Bus Maximus, how are you?
Oh, whoa, what a title.
Well. You deserve minimum this title, Jorge
Thank
Bus
you so much.
Maximus.
Thank you so much. And the reason why you are so pompous about my name is because we are talking today about when Rome was in Catalonia.
There we go. So if you're Jorge Bus Maximus, I guess I'm going to be Franciscus Emperor. Hey, I have to be something there too.
Of course. Of course you have to.
So,
Yeah.
hola, Jorge. And
Hi,
as you
Fran.
said, today we are going to talk about the Roman Empire in Catalonia. And what today is Catalonia, because obviously Catalonia is a modern thing, but the Romans arrived there.
Don't tell to any Catalonians that Catalonians is a modern thing because they are
They
very
will beat
proud
us
of
down.
their history.
That Catalonians historians are like,
Yeah.
no.
Well, Francisco, let me say something that we have mentioned endless times here in this podcast, which is, first of all, we're going to talk about history. Let's forget about borders.
There we go.
Okay, borders, no borders at all, only the shape of continents, the shape of the oceans, the shape of the Iberian Peninsula, the shape of what it is, the Mediterranean Sea, all that kind of thing. Okay, so because if we say, obviously, yes, we're gonna tell you, if we mention a place, we're gonna tell you what today is this, but
Yeah,
in those days wasn't that. Okay, then
there we go.
good.
Thanks for that clarification.
You're very welcome.
Okay, so when did the Romans arrive over here? When did the Roman Empire arrive over here?
Well, actually, they showed up in the year 218 BC. But Francisco, you remember, you probably know, I'm pretty sure you do know, that the Greeks, they arrived to what today is Catalonia. That's the same place, exactly the same location where the Greeks arrived. And the Romans later on, it was in a town that today is called Ampurias. In fact, the Greek name is Emporium. It
Mhm.
sounds like an emporium, but it's very, it spells slightly different. And it was at the beginning of the fourth century AD, AC, sorry, AC, yeah. And it was like a commercial trading point that they found it there in that location, okay, very close to the Pyrenees. In fact, I have been in that location several times. The Greek ruins together with the Romans, or sorry, oh, they're beautiful. I mean, the contrast, and you are just by the water, and you see the Pyrenees. You see the day clear with the blue sky. You see the Pyrenees there. It's just magnificent. It's idyllic location, and
And
yeah, no,
but for our listeners, you have to understand that take a mental look to the Spanish peninsula, okay, or
mm-hmm,
to Spain and Portugal. If you take on the Mediterranean route, we're talking in the point where the Pyrenees die on the east in the Mediterranean. So this location makes such a logical
mm-hmm, yep,
communication port, because it's you can from there you can go into La Gallia, to what today is France,
mm-hmm,
and it's right in the Mediterranean. It's the first port, or the first space on the Spanish territory. Spanish again, please,
mm-hmm.
no Spain, but the peninsula in the Mediterranean. So it was the perfect spot. But before the Greeks, in Spain, we've had many other civilizations. I mean, we've talked about Cadiz and the Phoenicians, but we
Yep.
have the Celts around here.
The Celts, they were in the northwest of the Iberian Peninsula, which today is Galicia. The Phoenicians, as you well said, they arrived in the uh, 9th century uh, before
Before
Christ.
Christ.
And so it's supposed to be the oldest city establishment in continental Europe. So, yeah, I mean, the Iberians also in the rest of the peninsula, they were like a kind of it was a, I don't want to say nobody's land, but they were tribes. They were tribes that they were living. Obviously, in those days, the communications they were not as developed as they are now, you know. But well, as I say, the Romans they showed up in the year 218 and BC, and they stepped on the what is Catalan soil today, Ampurias, and it was just in the middle of a war. It was the Second Punic War, and well, Francisco, and for those who likes history, you have probably heard about a character, a very
Hannibal.
problematic character, Anibal. That's right,
Hannibal.
Anibal.
Troublemaker.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So, what happened? Some officially they say that they came to stop Hannibal, you know, the history's most stubborn general, from turning Iberia into his personal playground, might be
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
So, unofficially, they liked the place, the Romans, and they decided to stay for a long time. It was about 700 years, give or take, you know, a few emperors, civil wars, and very, very bad decisions.
Okay, bad
Yeah,
decisions. Eh, Before we go into that,
yeah,
Jorge,
yeah.
how was the life around there before the Romans? I mean, was it a big shift? Was it a big change? There's a lot of violence. What happened there? I mean, how was it like before the Romans?
That is a very good question because it is like, I mean, history is written by the winners most of the time, and the losers, they write what they can. And so then it's you who decide what makes your
Hmm.
mental um, map of what happened in history. But in this case, it is said that from the very beginning, the Rome, which was the capital of the Roman Empire, didn't like. I didn't say. I wouldn't say sorry. Act or yes, yeah. I'm gonna use that word. They didn't act like a guest. They acted like an interior designer with absolute authority. No,
Okay,
I
so
was
they did
thinking,
whatever they wanted.
yeah, that's right, correct. Yeah. Roads were laid out, cities planned with rulers, straight streets, laws, they were imposed, temples, they were raised, and Latin sprinkled everywhere like cultural seasoning. Uh, in this case, Catalonia slowly but surely became very, very Roman flavored. Okay.
Roman flavor. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that way of expressing it. Roman flavored.
Yep.
Well, but the Catalan language comes from Latin, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Catalan is a language on its own. Of all means, it's a Romance language, but that is a much later history about you know, because in those days it was just Latin, the only language that it was officially allowed.
yeah. So, eh, what a great moment in history.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely. It changed everything. You know, when they landed in Ampurias, they set up a military base and quickly realized that something very important, and it was the coastal tribes, that they were open to negotiation.
okay,
And
so
you know, the reason is because the inland tribes, many friendly with Carthago, have been raiding them for years. So when Rome arrived, polished armor, and all the locals basically say, you know what? You seem stable.
okay, so the locals saw the Roman Empire as as a stability
Yeah.
against the Carthaginians that they were more invaders and not as settled as the Roman Empire.
Hmm.
And where did they, okay, the Romans, where did they settle? Did they settle besides Ampurias?
That was the very first base, okay? But they spread, you know, like wildfire. Okay, whenever we say, when we talk about history and we say they spread like wildfire, it doesn't mean like literally like wildfire within 24 hours, everything is destroyed or gained, right?
Mhm.
Wildfire, when we talk about history, might be, you know, tens of years, but they spread very quickly regarding those days. So they spread really fast. The coast was secured, and the interior, as I said, just followed sometimes through agreements, sometimes through force, aka wars, and often through a creative mix of both. Surrendering with some conditions. So if I surrender, you have to give me this, so you have to secure
Okay.
me against the other tribes, etc., etc., etc. So one of the things that they like the local tribes in here in the Iberian Peninsula about the Romans is that the Romans they loved cities. They love cities. I mean, if there wasn't one, they built it, and if was one already, they upgraded it. So they love that kind of thing. It was south of Ampurias, excuse me, they created what they call their crown jewel capital, Tarraco. That it was they made it the capital of the province of the Roman Empire that was settled in the Iberian Peninsula. Okay.
Okay. So you're talking about Tarraco
Yeah.
and not Barcelona or Barcino.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on
Oh,
a
okay.
second. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'm speeding up here.
No, 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 you're not. I love your interest, and you are waking up our listeners the curiosity, which I love it. But okay, Tarraco, that was the capital city. Became, the node of communications, a big harbor, the capital of the province, administrative headquarters, um, the home of the monuments. They were so large that they still today, because there are a lot of ruins in Tarragona. That's the actual name, Tarragona. They are so large that they intimidate modern visitors. They said, "Oh, we want an amphitheater by the ocean. Why not?" Checked. We want a circus just for our entertainment. Why not? Of course. An aqueduct? By all means, naturally. So Tarraco wasn't just important, it looked important. But what
Okay.
happened? As I said, there were tribes, neighbor tribes, that they were with either wars or agreements, being joined to the Roman Empire. And here's when what was the name that you gave before?
Barcino?
Barcino. Okay, Barcino. Barcino is what today is known as Barcelona. But um, Barcino started, but Barcino wasn't called Barcino in those days. By all means, wasn't called Barcelona. It was called Colonia Julia Augusta Faventia Paterna Barcino.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what happened?
Just writing the address.
Just imagine you have to write a letter like in the
Yes,
old
I
days, and you have to
would.
put the address. You have no ink and no paper enough to write all that. So they shortened it up to Barcino, and Barcino distorted to Barcelona. By the way, we say Barcelona with an S, but it's Barcelona. That is the proper pronunciation of the city, okay? But it was smaller, and it was founded they say it's in between the year 10 and 15. Well, it has to be in reverse, in 15 and 10, okay?
Okay. Before
BC.
Christ.
Yeah, and but it was perfectly planned. Think compact, efficient, walled, and proudly Roman. It didn't scream power, but whispered a lot of control. On the meantime, Ampurias, the very first place where they stepped out of their vessels when they arrived to the Iberian Peninsula, stayed relevant as a trading hub. The Greek roots, Roman management, and excellent sea connections. Okay, Francisco, you and I have been, I think, like 2 or 3 times in the Roman Barcelona, haven't we? Because
Hmm.
still it's there.
Yes, it's a beautiful little museum. It is right in the main
Little,
plaza.
my
It's
God, it's mammoth.
well, it's beautiful. I mean, it's not like a yeah, it's good. It's big. It's big, but
Yeah,
you can find it's right underneath the cathedral in what it's the Gothic Quarter.
yeah.
It's a beautiful museum where you find all of these Roman ruins. I mean, and if you walk through the Gothic Quarter, you can spot a lot of Roman ruins from part of the aqueduct, columns from monument. I mean, it's like
The Roman wall.
Roman wall, and it's right
Mhm.
there. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
it is. Yeah, and I mean, it's like everywhere else, and especially in Rome, the capital of the empire. I mean, every time that you kick the ground, a couple of Roman bricks,
Yeah, something appears,
comes
something
out,
shows
and
up.
all the archaeologists are there just to study everything. So the cities has been growing like a lasagna, okay, something like this. So in Barcelona, it happened exactly the same, and they have a very good, well displayed network museum of the Roman Barcelona. Underneath many of the buildings that they are already built above them, and they have been excavating within the years, and it is a very, very interesting museum to visit.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely extremely interesting.
But Jorge, if we're talking about Roman ruins,
Yeah,
I mean, if Barcino was not the number one city, Tarragona was the number one city. And in Tarragona is where we can find some of the most breathtaking Roman ruins in Spain.
yeah, true. Yeah, yes and no, but they are. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you go to the city center of Tarragona, and just the picture yourself, you're going on a pedestrian street that is slightly up the hill, and you see the cathedral in front of you. And then if
Mhm.
you go to the right, then you can see that the buildings structure are changing a little bit, that is the good thing about cities with history. The changes of the styles, you can clearly see that even the bricks, just the way they're displayed and manufactured, the way they look like, they are totally different. So if you keep walking to the right from the cathedral, then you will suddenly you see the amphitheater by the water. It's
Overlooking
absolutely
the ocean. That's
beautiful. It's absolutely fantastic, incredible. The circus is nearby. All the ruins. Most of them are covered because they have been discovered uh, along the line when they were building. I mean, let's not forget, we need to touch a topic which I don't like at all. You know that, and I know you don't, which is Franco. I'm
the
gonna I'm
guy.
gonna give you I'm gonna give you an example, Francisco. I don't know if we ever talk about that, you and I, in personal basis. Well, everybody knows I'm from Malaga, right, etc., etc. And in Malaga, it's also another city with a lot of
Roman
history and
ruins.
traditions and civilizations, etc., etc., etc. Phoenicians, Greeks, Romans, by all means, Arabics, etc. Like most of the coastal cities along the
Mhm.
line. So, regarding the ruins, I don't want to focus in Malaga. I'm going to give you an example of what happened in Malaga because I grew up with that, but that happened all over, which was you see like a half of amphitheater, Roman amphitheater, or they said it was Roman amphitheater, and on the top of the hill, the top of the granary of the Roman amphitheater, you see like a castle that it was not in ruins but abandoned. It was the Arabic castle, similar like the Alhambra in Granada, but in
Mhm.
Malaga it was called the Alcazaba, the city, the Medina. So part of the Roman theater, you could see that. But in the other part, it was like if suddenly non-existent out of nowhere, it was a building on top of that. And it was the library. And that was
Mhm.
made in the early 1950s. Nobody cared at that time about the ruins, heritage, what it meant, etc., etc. Now everything has been, demolished and probably
Protected and
displayed exactly. What happened in Barcelona in that museum that we both been there like a couple of times? What happened was that there were very old structures of the city, and it was like a natural growing thing. Okay, in this case, it was just the absurdity of not taking care of the heritage, and those, unfortunately, in those cases, that really happens. And then well, Rome, when Rome came, getting back into history, when Rome came in those years, there was a transition time. It was the conquest mode. Generals like Scipius Africanus made personal alliances with Iberian chiefs. No treaties between nations, no permanent institutions, just handshakes. Okay, loyalty and mutual benefits. What was
Okay.
the problem of all those things? Those deals expired when someone on any part died, and
Yeah.
people
One,
and people they did die a lot in those days.
they tend to die
They tend to die a
quite
lot
young.
in those days. So when loyalty collapsed, rebellions followed. Obviously, um, unfortunately, we can see those things nowadays. Rome responded with a mix of patience, punishment, and strategy. There was one clever move, anyway, that it was, you know, exploiting the devotion to the Iberian Peninsula. And it was a tradition where warriors swore absolutely loyalty to their leader, even unto death. Rome didn't fight this system, they hijacked it. And because Romans, they hated kings, too monarchy, too
Mhm.
traumatic, they avoided calling Scorpio, Scipio Rex, excuse me, Scorpio, Scipio Rex. Instead, they introduced Imperator, meaning the one who commands, strong, clean, ego friendly.
Okay.
So, what happened to ensure good behavior? Rome, took hostages. A classic move in ancient geopolitics. Loyal chiefs were rewarded with Roman citizenships, new Roman names, and access to power. Obviously, the soldiers joined the Roman auxiliary units, and after service, they earned citizenships. Maybe also among the population, local population that climb also the social ladder all the way into the question order. And a rare few even reached the Roman Senate. Not bad for people who a generation early, they were fighting Rome. So we're talking only just one generation before that they were fighting. And now everything was kind of a agreement. Let's call it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, but not everything was that nice. Okay.
Okay. Let's go
Rome,
for the dark part now.
yeah, we're going now to the dark side of the moon. Rome also practiced widespread looting, massacres, and slave trading. Cities that resisted paid the price. Prisoners were sold by professional slave dealers because Rome didn't just conquer, they monetized the conquer.
Well, they were
So,
the empire.
yeah,
So,
that's right. Yeah.
but anyway, what exciting moments in history
Mhm.
for Spain, it's the arrival of the Roman Empire through what today is Catalonia. And from there,
Mm.
they spread all the way southwest and conquer the whole thing. So,
Yeah, but they did it in a very peculiar way because normally when someone wants to invade a place, they invade, boom, and they step
mhm,
into it. They went into Ampurias and they went a little bit inland, and then they secured that place. Then they went south to Tarragona because Barcelona,
mhm,
but what today's Barcelona was after Tarragona. But what is help me out here, Francisco. If they went first to Empurias because it was already Greek and they had a port over their harbor,
mhm,
then they went to Tarragona and they, excuse me, and they founded the capital city of that province of the Roman Empire. And then they went back up north, halfway from Tarragona to Ampurias, and they founded the city of Barcino, Barcelona.
mhm.
What thing have those three places in common?
The three of them are by the coast.
Correct. They're by the water. So they started to spread out, securing the coastline first to avoid attacks from the water, from somewhere else,
Hmm.
and people from inland to try to escape. So they could, if they were securing the coastline, they were securing the inland in a way.
I know they were Romans. They were quite clever.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
They knew what they're doing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
they certainly
That's
did.
correct. Yeah. That is correct.
Well, Jorge, you so much talking about Rome and the Spanish Rome. I think it's you're putting me some. I want to go. I want to go. Oh, especially I want to go to Tarragona because you know how much we all love Barcelona, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, I mean, in Barcelona we have obviously we have Gaudí, and it's like the master, but and that overshadows the rest, and it
Yeah. It
overshadows. A lot of
does.
people don't even go to see the Roman Museum, but in Tarragona, it's boom, you have to see the Roman.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And well, to our listeners, if you guys want to discover this area in Barcelona and Tarragona and all of these, the best way is with Jorge.
Yeah.
Jorge on his
Thank you.
website, travelingwithjorge.com. You have the Barcelona Catalonian staycation. Is it 9 nights or how long is it?
Yeah, it is 9 nights. That's correct. We sleep in the same hotel every single day, and we do make day trips. One day is a city, one day we go out, and we go. Of course, we go to
Torre.
Tarragona. Okay, we go to
Okay, so
Tarragona, and actually the tour is live, and it's starting in November the 20th this year.
okay.
Okay, just after my Portugal tour. So you have a few days in between, and then yeah, you can do it's second half of November. It's gonna be
Okay.
there in the web page, and it's live. And if by any chance, because the web page is still, I'm still managing to try and sort it out. Um, just in case that you are interested, please just send me an email, okay, just through my website, and by all means, I'll send you all the information. Just Google traveling with Jorge, and you will find my email, my any way that you can, sorry, contact me or Francisco for his own tours as well. So,
But
Francisco, you have any more questions about Roman Catalonia?
no, I have a lot of information about that Roman Catalonia. I think it's amazing. I love the Roman Empire. And knowing that they arrived, I mean, the way they got into Spain was through what today is Barcelona area and Tarragona and
Catalonia
all
area,
that.
yeah.
It
Catalonia.
makes so much sense.
Mm.
It's so beautiful. And yeah, so Jorge, thank you so much for enlightening us today.
You're very welcome.
And
My
well,
pleasure.
I think that's all we're gonna do today. And shall we see each other next week?
Yeah, we will be back next week with another very interesting topic. Chicos, you have no idea how much giving a thumb up and subscribing to our channel helps a lot to the spread of this. Thank you again to everybody that every day you listen to us and you cope with us and you laugh with us, and you may hate us because we might touch a topic that you don't like at all. But anyway, we are here just to try and entertain you, Francisco and I. And by all means, I have to thank Francisco, as well, too, because I mean, we cannot be what we are without each other
Yeah.
here.
Now, for us, I think I don't know if people understand how fun all of this podcast has become because it's a way to refresh our history. It's a way to share the passion we have for our country. And for the two of us, it's always a pleasure having conversations because what you guys listen, it's half an hour of a podcast, but there's a lot of talking between the two of us before about this and
Oof.
debating. So there's it's a lot of fun. So, hey, if you have enjoyed it, as Jorge said, give us a thumb up, share the video, put the little bell on YouTube and Spotify. So that helps a lot. Jorge, thank you so much.
Thank you,
See you next
Francisco.
week.
See you next week. Bye bye, everybody.
Adiós, amigos.
And as usual, we want to thank all our listeners for being there every week, letting us sharing our talks. Follow us in Spanish Loops in Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite platform.
And in Instagram, you can find us as the Spanish Loops Podcast, no spaces altogether. If you want to find us the quickest way, just Google Spanish Loops Podcast and you will find us. Hasta la vista, amigos.
See you next week.